shit like that, and community respects it. These motherfuckers that I support. You know what I mean? I just because you got a black business don't mean, and furthermore, I can't support a black business that doesn't offer something that I could use.
Oh, that too. That too.
Oh yeah, these
That
black
that
hair
is.
care products. Like I just wash my hair and go. Like I
Yeah.
hair care,
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
hair care products. Seriously,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
I. I mean, I believe that black businesses that offer those types of things, they should control that market because they're the number one consumers.
Mm.
But it's not a market for me. Now, it's a
I'm
market
not the
that
target audience.
it's a market that my daughter goes into. And I do end up feeding into that market because she needs it. She wants
Mm.
it. I'll give her the money to go buy it. And not only that, when she gets there, give her some good customer service, do all that stuff. I'm not
That
saying we
counts.
don't, I don't go there, but these are the things.
It
The
counts.
thing that there's two ways when it comes to that too. When we go into a black business, we should be able to buy their products and come out of our pockets very easy for them. We should never ask
Absolutely.
them for a discount. We should never ask them for anything like that. That is the way you support them businesses. Just like your friend. If your friend opens up a store, don't walk in there and say, yo, let me get a plate, let me get this, let me get that. In
Right.
fact, if that's the case, you should tip him or her. That's the
Right.
way you handle that. You know what I mean? When Snap
Mm.
had his snap of a food truck, he was like, yo, I'll get, no, you won't. Here you
Nah,
go.
take the
You know what I
pizza.
mean? Because
Don't
that's
come
how
for
you
me.
support each other. On the
Mm.
flip side of that, on the flip side of that, that customer service needs to be on point when you're serving your own and everybody else too.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have added you can't yeah, okay, whatever, blah, blah,
Sound like somebody drove a car through the living room. What's
I'm telling you. But you can't have, you know what I mean? You can't give your people, or for that fact, any people, shitty service and expect them to
yeah.
keep coming back. Like, let's put it this way. I just saw this thing online with a couple of people that I know. Apparently, there's a Jamaican food store around here. They make decent food. Um, but they were like, "Oh yeah, I go in there. Their food is so good, but they're rude as hell. But their food is so good, I keep going back." Okay, that's cool. But then I'm listening, I'm looking, and everybody's saying the same thing. Their food is so good that I keep coming back. Okay, I'm glad their food is so good. But how much more business would they have if they just weren't rude? They would probably
That
corner
part.
the market here because it seems like everybody was sitting here talking about how good it is. So if it's that good that
Mm-hmm.
they can shit on you and you're still coming back, imagine what it would be like if they were nice. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. We don't get that part. And also another thing we can't do is not work if you have a common goal just because you're not friends with that person, because business doesn't require friends. It requires business people. Just
Mm-hmm.
because you're not friends with that person doesn't mean that you're not working towards that common goal. So what happens is other nationalities, they don't even have to like each other, but they will build up a business because it benefits both of them and their families. But black people, if we
Yeah.
don't like each other, I can't work with you because I don't like you.
No,
But
we've never been harmonic. It's never been not in our generation. Black people have
no,
not been, in harmony like that. Because when you look back at, when they had those towns and things, those black towns and all that stuff back then, you know what I mean? They all supported each other. They all
yep,
supported each other.
yep.
And the crazy thing that I heard Charleston White say, which was crazy, yo. Like I tell you, that man, he do go off the rails sometimes, but I
He
tell you,
does.
I say he's like 75%, 80% on point with what he say because he said the things that nobody don't want to hear and afraid to say. But when he said that, even back then, black people they couldn't wait. They wanted the you know what I mean, for everything for the blacks and the whites to be without the segregation and all that. He said because they couldn't wait to have what the white people have, to do the things that the white people were doing, and you know what I mean, and to be in the places that the white people were. You know what I'm saying? And that right there, once that did happen, look at what happened after that. It was, you know, and
Yeah,
generations after that, it started being like that where they weren't supporting each other because they felt they didn't have to, or you know,
yeah.
for whatever reason, or yours ain't as good as this one over here, what have you, you know, and then we fell apart. Are you know, they you know, government drove their wedge in the way that they drove it in and took apart the black families and things, and you know, it's fucked up because now it's quicker, it's a lot faster and easier to take things apart than it is to put it together. Now you go, what's up?
It's it is way easier, way
Okay.
easier. You can let's put it this way.
No, no, we just chopping it up. Yeah, I ain't gonna be long. All right. Night night,
When
Bubba.
you when you to me, when you look at how easily we are distracted, and when I say we're distracted, people forget that literally 16 years ago they did the same thing.
Mm,
The only difference now is it's a woman, so she has more
mm,
shields. So it's harder to say something about a black woman because if I list the things that she did, I'm attacking her. If I say much, I hate women. If I but all I'm doing is taking a screenshot of exactly what you did and putting it in somebody's face. But it's wrong. It is wrong.
and
You
on
know,
top of that, the mentality that everybody has is you're automatically about to vote the other way.
yeah.
You're automatically supportive of the other side. You know what I'm saying? And
And, I,
people
and
they don't
I'm
get that it
not
ain't
cool.
even about that. They don't give a fuck about either one of them.
Dude, I'm not cool with the other side either.
Mm,
That's the thing. And it's like people don't understand that. And that's why I say I'm not it's here's the thing. The points that I argue, if most people pay attention, I'm
mm-hmm.
not a um sports figure. I barely watch sports. Me and Chuck watch basketball and I watch a good game. I watch football, I watch a good game, but I don't have a team. Why? Because I actually grew when I started growing up, when I got into politics, I realized this is nothing but the Romans again. This really is. I'm not joking because just like we go, this is my team, that's my team. In
Mm,
basketball, we do the same thing with political stuff. It doesn't matter if you see basketball is different. If you're playing a team sport, if you're whatever, your team wins, your team loses, you have win streaks, that's the game. Politics is a
mm-hmm.
little different. You guys are playing with lives, but you still do it like it's a team sport. These politicians are now celebrities. I don't give a fuck about who Ocasio Cortez is, except for what she does, and her policies hurt. But she's got celebrity status. You know what I mean? There's people that have been that you can't tell me, and I don't want to go into definitions because we already understand what the definition is, but you can't tell me that if I graduated in 1994 and the same lady has been running the Congress since 1994, what are you expecting to change? I don't care how much you vote. Nancy Pelosi has been in office since I was in like college, I mean high school,
Mm,
around 1994. That's when she got in. This
mm,
lady is now 100 billionaire. She didn't go into Congress like that,
mm,
but she's 100 billionaire now. She makes the laws for how stocks are traded, but then she gets to trade on them. You know what I mean? Now anybody else that's insider trading, but
that's
not for
corner
her.
market right there. Yeah,
So
that's
that's what
crazy
I'm
work.
saying. It's if you cannot realize that the game is rigged
Mm,
a million times over. Did you see that thing with GameStop a couple years ago when the GameStop people got on and what happened when they started winning? They did the same thing that the big guys did. But what happened when they started winning? When they started winning, they stopped everything. They made it so you couldn't trade. They made it so you couldn't. But as long as the big guys were doing that, they've been able to rape you silly since then. but because you got together with a group of people and did what the big guys always do, call those shorts in and all that stuff,
Shut them down.
and you shut them down and they lost money, they
Hmm.
in turn closed down everything. Oh, this is not good. You can't do this. Oh, God, God, God. That's why I say the game is not a level playing field. It's not. I don't care
Never
what
will
people say.
be.
I don't
Probably never
care
will.
what people
It,
say.
it ain't no probably. It never will be. It never will be.
No,
Because
but you
the
could,
mentality
but
of
you
people
will
now, if you look at
continually.
this generation, the mentality and the way that they think is so they have such a selfish way of thinking. You know what I mean? And as you were saying before, you were touching on how, people pick and choose on the battles that they want to fight. You know what I mean? And that shit is crazy, man, because one person believes something and he's standing up, raising their fist about shit or whatever. And you're like, what? That makes no sense. But that doesn't
Yeah,
matter to anybody. It's just as long as it matters to one, and they're gonna make enough noise for other people to pay attention. Like, oh, and then now the way that they think, you so fucking empty headed that you can't even see what common sense that does not make sense, but you're still gonna go for it. You
yeah,
know, this is
yeah,
what they're doing
yeah.
now.
You
Mm.
know, I told Yaya, and I actually think I made a post about this today, but we have been talking to him about this for years. I said, one of the most dangerous things that can happen is when a bunch of stupid people get together. Because when people get together and they get one mind frame, they're dangerous. They usually destroy everything. That's what, to me, our Congress is. We got a whole bunch of stupid people together that all they do is, guess what? Don't mess with us. We got a nuclear weapon. Dun, 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 dun. That's the final finale. Like, it's okay. We want this. You don't want to give us this? Okay, well, we'll give you loans. If we're not going to give you loans, okay, you're not going to take our loans. Okay, here comes our navy. Here comes our army. Okay, well, now we got to bring you some democracy. Okay, well, hold on. Now all of a sudden, your whole land is tore up. Now all of a sudden, what are you going to do? Don't fight back. We have nuclear weapons. Cut it out. And that's where it ends. Like, because it's the escalation. You wonder why our police are the way they are. You wonder why everything we do overseas we eventually bring home. So
Hmm.
now, since we are going broke and we cannot support all of our armed forces overseas, yeah, we're going to keep fighting. We'll do whatever. And if we don't have nuclear war, all those people are going to come back. What do you think their jobs are going to be? Their jobs are going to be police this country because, and they're going to use all the tactics that they use everywhere else. So it's I just don't I that whole thing, like I said, I can't with the whole one side or the other. I just can't,
Yeah.
because everybody is inherently bad when it comes to that. You don't get that high up if you're not. Just like you don't become a billionaire if you are a good person. You have
Hmm.
to be a psychopath, a narcissist, you have to be a sociopath, all of those things to become a billionaire, because you have to be okay with stepping on poor people. You have to be okay with stepping over poor people. You have to be okay with going to sleep at night knowing that kids are starving. You have to, that you can take care of all of it.
Hmm.
So what does that say about you?
Hmm.
Let's put it this way. Elon Musk, I think it's Elon Musk. He's like the richest dude in the United States. I'll say in the United States because we keep saying the world. That's bullshit. There's old money that trounces his, but $20 billion would erase homelessness in the United States. Now, when we had the pandemic, $20 billion was what Jeff Bezos made in 1 month. You're telling me that if he gave up that 1 month, we were locked down for a whole year, right? 1 month, just one out of 12. If he gave up 1 month's salary, he could have taken care of the whole United States. And the thing about that is, if he did that, are you telling me that people wouldn't have looked at him as a god? People
Hmm.
wouldn't have looked at him as, where are you going to shop? Amazon. Look at
Hmm.
what they did for me. He would have put every business out of business if he had done that. Where would you shop if
Crazy.
during that pandemic, all of a sudden he erased homelessness? Where would you shop? Even if it didn't touch me, I'd be like, yo, this dude is about the right thing. I'm going to shop and I'm gonna support this. But that's not what they did. They sat there and, oh, sorry, but keep giving me your money. I'm making, $200,000 a second, but keep giving me your money.
And isn't it
I'm
funny
never going
how
to spend
these
this in my life.
big corporations? It just seems sometimes as if like for instance, I saw this, I saw this post where they were saying, these multi-billion-dollar companies or whatever, how they thank their employees, and there was just like a whole line of tables and stuff with pizzas on them.
Pizza. Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, like, yeah, this is how they thank their employees. Like, thanks for making us all these billions of dollars.
Yes.
Some pizza.
It's like, oh, what you want? You want pepperoni? I got you. It's like,
Over here. This is the deluxe.
yeah.
When I spit, ain't no hit or miss. It snipe you when you exist. Fathom this, you blinded by 20 fists.